This is the DJI Air 3. It's a 720-gram drone with 2 cameras that can fly for up to 46 minutes. Both cameras have a 1/1.3-inch sensor with an effective 48 megapixels for still images. The wide-angle lens is a 24mm equivalent with an f1.7 aperture, and the telephoto lens is a 70mm equivalent lens with an f2.8 aperture. For video, the Air 3 shoots HDR 4K video at up to 60 frames per second, but it'll also shoot non-HDR 4K at 100 frames per second. The video has a maximum bitrate of 150 megabits per second, and it can shoot footage in the D-Log-M flat format for color grading afterwards. This drone is packed with features. It's got omnidirectional obstacle avoidance sensors, it's got 8 gigabytes of internal memory, it's got the new DJI O4 transmission with a theoretical range of 20 kilometers. It can do object tracking, quick shots, panoramic mode, night mode, and a ton of other features. Some of the other ones I'll mention later. You can currently buy the drone with the most basic controller for £962, or, as I would recommend, you get the Fly More kit where you get a bag, you get 3 batteries, you get a charging hub, you get the DJI RC2 controller with the screen, among other things, and you can get all of that for £1,379. This is the most feature-packed drone for its size, weight, and cost that I have ever seen, and just take a look at what this thing can do. So, yeah, I mean, that speaks for itself. I've personally been incredibly impressed with this drone, and it's become, for me, my favorite drone for the type of content that I make. And I probably should introduce myself. My name is Stephen, and I'm a commercial filmmaker, and I also make outdoor adventure videos over on my channel, Stephen J. Reed. And I've been using drones for over 7 years now, so I have a really good idea of how to use them creatively and what I want to see in a drone. And for me, I'm often hiking out and about in beautiful locations carrying a backpack with lots of other kit in it, so I really value being able to maximize the space and weight of my packs, and part of that includes getting the greatest level of creative control, quality and options out of the equipment that I'm carrying, and that includes the cameras and the drones. Now, there are much heavier options than this that will shoot much better quality video, and there also are really lightweight options that shoot great quality video. But first I want to talk about the 3 major features that for me make this the Goldilocks drone. This is the perfect, delicious, proper temperature flying bowl of amazing, perfect porridge. I'm not sure that analogy works, but I'm gonna go with it. Firstly, the twin lenses. We're really used to seeing wide-angle lenses showing off landscapes, but this telephoto lens really ups the game because, one, it can enable you to make the landscape more dramatic, because a telephoto lens can compress a landscape, and that can make a landscape that looks kind of flat on a wide-angle lens look much more interesting and much more dramatic. Here's a really good example from when I was in the Peak District earlier this week. On the really wide angle, the landscape is a little bit dull and uninspiring, but click in with that 70 and all of a sudden you get that compression, you get those layers, and it's a completely different type of composition. I just love how it looks. You also get that parallax effect, and that's where an object that's closer to the lens appears to move faster than the one behind it. So if you're like panning across and there's a hill in the foreground and a hill in the background, you get this nice shifting about of the layers. And also can be quite good if you're like flying in a circle around a person or an object. You get that background whizzing around in a way you just don't get the same with a wide angle lens. And then the last thing is that the telephoto lens allows you to get closer imagery of objects or even animals that you wouldn't really want to get close to anyway, either for safety reasons or because you don't want to scare the life out of sheep on a hillside somewhere. So for me, the creative possibilities of that extra lens makes this well worth the extra weight over something like the Mini 4 Pro, even though the Mini 4 Pro is a fantastic and highly capable drone. Second big thing for me then is the wind resistance. As much as I love my smaller Mini 4 Pro, I find if I'm up in the hills and it's a really windy, blustery day, and especially if the wind is turbulent, up in the hills, wind off is rarely constant. It kind of twists and turns and tumbles and spins, and you can see the drone bouncing. It's not that it's sort of holding it at a crazy angle. It's at a crazy angle, plus it's jiggling and bouncing all over the place because the wind isn't constant, and that's really typical when you're up high in the hills. And a heavier drone and a more powerful drone is much better for handling those kinds of winds. I've been able to get shots with this drone that I know if I tried to shoot them with the Mini, they would either have shake in them, or I'd be getting those wind warnings, or the drone would be starting to get pushed around by the wind. So this gives me confidence to fly in conditions that I otherwise wouldn't with the Mini, and it means there's shots that I'm not getting that I would have missed out on before. Then 3 is the incredible flight times. The Air 3 can stay aloft for a theoretical 46 minutes, which is just insane. That's nearly an hour in the air, in theory. Now, personally, as you know, if you fly drones, you should probably land when the battery is, around 20 to 30%, but that still means I get at least 30 minutes of flight time per battery. And if you buy the Fly More kit, that is a very safe 90 minutes, 1.5 hours of flight time, which I find is more than enough for a typical day out filming, for at least what I'm doing anyway. Those are the features as an outdoor filmmaker that matter to me. The 2 lenses for creative flexibility, the wind resistance for outdoor environments, and the incredible flight times, meaning I can spend more time in the air getting the shots that I made. This drone literally has more features than we have time to go into in the video. I haven't even mentioned the new DJI O4 transmission, which gives you incredible signal strength both at distance and in complex environments. That's where I find it more useful, to be honest, because legally I can't fly very far anyway. But if I'm flying down near trees, or maybe a little bit behind trees, or say I fly like behind a rock or like the tip of a hill for a few seconds, my signal stays on this in a way that it just didn't in older drones. The transmission is brilliant. I've yet to have any issues with the transmission from this. As you'd expect, it's got fantastic tracking, but it also has an autopilot feature where you can start the drone flying in a certain direction, on a certain path, at a certain speed, hit a button, and the drone will just automatically continue on that path, allowing you to sort of worry about the camera settings. I'm finding that really, really useful for certain types of shots. I just start flying, hit the button, and then all I have to do is worry about the camera settings. Drone maintains speed, altitude, and even the course of direction. If you do a turn, the drone will autopilot that turn. It's really, really cool. You can also do waypoint flights with this, so you can put it to a place in space, set a waypoint, fly it somewhere else, set a waypoint, and then it will fly between those points. And that can be really, really good if you wanted to do like one of those time lapses that show the seasons changing, or you just have a complex flight path that you want to fly. What are maybe a couple of downsides with this drone? Well, first one I would say is while it does have a low light mode, and you will have seen demos showing how good that low light mode is, those demos are often done in urban environments. And urban environments, especially cities, actually have a lot of light in them. They're not as low light as you might think. So those tests look much better than, say, if you're using this drone in a more rural environment like this. I've used it a little bit at night, and depending on conditions, I've got some really nice shots that I've liked, and then there's been some shots where it has looked quite muddy. So don't expect that this is going to perform like a Micro Four Thirds camera like what you would get on the Mavic 3. It's decent at night. It's the best I've seen at night on a drone this size, but it's not gonna, it's not gonna compare to a camera with a much bigger sensor. Now, the weight of this drone does mean that it's going to be subject to more restrictions in quite a lot of countries, typically around how close you can fly to congested areas. And people, personally, I mostly fly in remote areas like this where there isn't that much around, but I also have the A2 CLC certificate, which does reduce or remove quite a few of those restrictions. So that's something that's worth looking into if you think you're likely to be flying this in more built up urban or environments, or perhaps near people. So you can do that certificate if you want, but if you're going to be flying more regularly in urban environments or near people, possibly you might want to look at something like the Mini 4, where you're just not going to have to worry about that to begin with. But as always, check the latest drone certifications for wherever it is that you live, because they do vary a lot worldwide and they keep changing as well. So don't take this video for your guide. Go and check out the up-to-date official regulations in your area or where you're going to be flying. So to conclude, the Air 3 is a fantastic drone for its size, weight and cost, and I think it's the perfect drone for people like me. You're outdoors a lot, carrying a lot of extra kit, and if this drone was any heavier, it might get left at home. This makes it more likely to be carried with me. I know if I had the Mavic series, they're slightly heavier, I'd be less likely to bring this. I'd be more likely to bring the Mini instead, and then I'd be more likely to run into conditions where I wish I'd brought my drone with better cameras. So this is just, yeah, a real sweet spot for outdoor content creators, photographers, or filmmakers, and or just if you want the creative possibilities of 2 cameras without just having to splash out for the Mavic 3 series. So thanks for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope it helps you to make a decision about whether you're going to get the Air 3. And I'd love to hear your comments and thoughts about this drone down below. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.